All right. So the first thing that we are going to do is we are going to crack our eggs. So we are using 2 eggs for this recipe because this recipe just makes 1 quesadilla. Very easy to multiply depending on how many you want to make, but for now we're just going to do 1. So it's 2 eggs for 1 quesadilla. So you just want to grab your 2 eggs and we're going to crack them into a small bowl, okay? So if you've been in a Culikid class before, an analogy that we like to use is that when you crack an egg, you want to tap it as if you're knocking on a door, not too hard and not too soft, because you don't want the egg to crack and break all over the cutting board, but you also want to crack it so that you can open it and have the egg come out into the bowl. So I'm going to pretend like I'm knocking on a door and you can hear it when it starts to crack. I'm going to do 1 more. And then just take your thumbs, push in and pull out. And we have our egg. So we're going to do that twice with once with 1 egg and once with the other. And then before we whisk, we just want to check to make sure there's no shells in there. If there is, we can just pick those out. Once everyone has their eggs cracked, give me a thumbs up and then we'll start whisking them. I see Enrique, I see Caitlin. I see some more thumbs up. Perfect. All right, I think everyone's all set. So what you can do, you can either use a fork or a whisk to whisk your eggs or scramble them. I like to use a fork. What I do first is I just like to poke the egg yolks so that they break a little bit easier. And then you can go side to side, you can go up and down in a circle, you can go around, whatever is easier for you guys and however you like to whisk your eggs, and then we will tell that it's done when everything is all combined and it looks like one nice yellow color. And it doesn't have to be perfect, but you just want to make sure that everything is mixed together, just like that. All right, and then once everyone has their eggs whisked, just give me another thumbs up and we will go on to the next step. I see some already, that's great. And this recipe is really, really simple. It's great because you can do whatever you want with it. I'm sure all of us are all using different mix-ins, which is what makes it so good. You can do it to whatever you like. I see Tasha's still whisking a little bit. It looks like everyone else. Is everyone good or do we need a little more time? I see all thumbs up. That's great. Okay.
No, I'm good.
Okay, great. So can you guys give me a thumbs up if you're using beans as one of your mix-ins? I see 1. All right, Enrique, I see yours. All right, it might just be me and you. So if that's the case, if you are using beans, you just want to add, the next step would be to add 1/3 of the cup of beans into your egg mixture. I see Caitlin's using some too. So we want to just add, if you are using them, just add 1/3 cup into the scrambled eggs that we just did. If not, just hold on a sec and we'll be right on to the next step after. So I'm just taking 1/3 cup here and just plopping them right in there. And just giving it a little stir too, so they're evenly distributed. Caitlin and Enrique, are you guys all set? Perfect. Okay. So now what we're going to do is we're gonna have to cook our eggs first. So we're going to need a medium-sized pan. Mine's about this big, nothing crazy. We're gonna heat it over medium heat, and you can either add 2 tablespoons of butter or olive oil, whatever your preference is. So I'm gonna grab 2 tablespoons of butter out of the fridge. All right, so I'm just gonna grab my butter, stick that in the pan, and heat it up to medium. Just let it melt a little bit. For anyone who is just joining, so far we have scrambled our eggs, and if you were using beans, we added beans into the scrambled eggs, and we are just getting ready to cook them. So we are heating our pan right now with either 2 tablespoons of butter or olive oil. And we'll give a minute for everyone's pan to heat up. All right. My pan needs about 1 more minute, and then we should be good to go. How's everyone doing? Does anyone need any more time, or is everyone almost ready? I see a lot of thumbs up.
I'm almost ready.
Okay, perfect.
Hey, 1 more minute.
1 more minute.
Okay. These would also be very good. You can definitely make a batch of these and then freeze them. And then you could always reheat them when either in the microwave or in the pan and have them ready for breakfast or lunch or even as a snack. So that's another thing I like about this.
I'm gonna use it as a lunch, okay?
Okay, I like that idea. And I know we have a few other people just joining. If you are, we are just waiting for our pans to heat up. We have scrambled our eggs and we have added beans if you're using beans, because those will be cooked with the eggs. Other than that, we have not gotten too far in. How's everyone's pan looking? Is everyone ready? Can we add some eggs into the pan? Okay, great. So my pan's hot. I'm going to take a spatula and just make sure every little bit gets out. And then to scramble them, I'm just going to take my spatula and keep moving everything around. So that the eggs are nice and scrambled. And these should cook pretty quickly. It might take a little bit longer depending on the stove top. But mine are even almost done already. I just want to make sure I see no more liquid. And then that's when you know that everything has been cooked fully. So as you can see, I have no more liquid of the eggs in my pan, so my eggs should be pretty good. If you need more time, that's totally fine, but once your eggs are done, you want to turn the heat off and move the pan off the heat so that they don't overcook. So once everyone's eggs are off the heat, you can give me a thumbs up, take as much time as you need. I see some already, so I think everyone's cooked pretty quickly too. Does anyone need any more time?
We do.
Okay, no problem. So we're just gonna make sure our eggs are off the heat. They can stay in
I'm
the pan,
done.
but you want to make sure they're off the heat so that they don't continue to cook. Tasha, whenever you're ready, just give me a thumbs up, okay?
It's a little, needs to be cooked a little more.
Okay, no worries. Take as much time as you need. And I know we did have a few people sign up who had a few different allergies or intolerances, and it's very easy to substitute. If you're gluten-free, you need to have gluten-free products, you can always just use a gluten-free tortilla. Dairy-free, you can always use dairy-free cheese or just omit it. And then everything else is pretty customizable, so you're able to add whatever you need or whatever you like based on your dietary restrictions. You can even use the vegan scrambled egg mix if you don't like eggs, or if you're vegan, that's always an option as well. Or I've also seen a lot of people use tofu in place of eggs. You just mash it up so that it looks like the consistency of scrambled eggs, and you can use that as well. That even has a little more protein. All right, Tasha, I see your thumbs up. Perfect. Okay. So now what we're going to do is we're going to carefully take our eggs and put them into just another small bowl. So again, this pan is still hot, so you want to make sure you're being really careful. I'm just going to take my spatula and scoop it into my small bowl, just so that I don't get my hands burned. Okay, perfect. So now I have it all in my bowl here. Once everyone's got that, just give me another thumbs up and we will go and add the rest. I see everyone. Okay, great. So now what we're going to do, if you have does anyone have mix-ins that need to be chopped? Give me a thumbs up if you do. Okay, I see a few. So for those of you who do, we're just going to take a few minutes to chop that stuff. For those of you who don't, just hang on for a sec. I am using scallions. That's what I'm going to chop. You just want it to be bite-sized. So it can be as big or small as you like, but you want it to be able to fit within the quesadilla, and you don't want it to come out. Another fun tip for anyone who's been in my classes, I love telling people about how scallions continue to grow in the fridge. So I put them in this glass with a little water, and they were like down here. Now they've gotten all the way up here. I know, it's crazy. So like, even if you just use a little bit, just keep putting it back in the water and it'll just keep growing. So this is my favorite thing to do because I don't have to buy scallions very often. I'm just gonna use probably about one, if anyone else is using scallions as well. And I'm just gonna chop them to be like around this size. And you want about a 1/3 cup of the mix-ins that you're using. If you're using more, if you're using a lot, like 4 or maybe even 5, because you can add as many as you want, then you might want to do a little bit less just in case, because you don't want it to overflow.
Sophia,
Yes.
can I ask you something?
Of course
Are
you
we
can.
gonna
What's
use
up?
it as a 1/3 cup or a 1/3 tablespoon?
A 1/3 cup.
Okay, 1/3 cup. You got it. Okay, thanks. Okay.
You're welcome.
All right, thanks. Okay. All right.
Will we be cooking these mix-ins? Like, I'm not cooking, but will we be heating them up? Because we have some
They're-
canned mushrooms and we didn't know, do we need to heat them up now or will we do that later?
I guess that would be based on your preference. They are gonna, so we're gonna mix them in with the eggs and then those are gonna cook on the tortilla. So I don't know if they're really gonna get fully cooked through. Mushrooms are something that they're totally fine to have a little bit on the raw side or even completely raw. So if you would prefer them to be a little cooked, you can always just toss them in the pan for a little bit now, whatever you guys want. All right, how's everyone doing? Does anyone need some more time?
No, I'm good.
Okay, I see mostly thumbs up. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna take our mix-ins and we're gonna add them into our eggs. So we're going to add any mix-ins that we're using except for the cheese, if you're using cheese as well. So I'm going to add my scallions into my bowl of scrambled eggs. And then I'm also using some chorizo. So I'm gonna add a 1/3 cup of that.
No, I'm good for the time. Okay, it's okay. Okay. All right. All right, ready to move on? All right, here we go, Sophia. All right.
Thanks, Enrique. And then I'm also gonna add some salsa. I'm not gonna put a whole 1/3 cup of salsa in here because that might be a little too much, I think. So I'm just gonna do 1 or 2 teaspoons if anyone else is using salsa as well.
So we put in the mix-ins in the bowl with the eggs?
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
All right, so I'm just gonna add 1 spoon of this. That should be good. Maybe a little more. All right, and then once you have all your mix-ins in your bowl, you can just mix it all together so that everything's nice and combined. All right, so I like the way this looks. You can even chop the egg a little bit using your spoon into finer pieces. I'm doing that a little bit now, so everything's kind of the same size. But this looks all good to me. All right. So once everyone has their mix-ins in their bowl, mixed all together just like this.
Wait, Sophia, can I tell you something?
Of course you can.
So first, we're gonna add the chorizo and the salsa. And what comes next?
Whatever else you're using. What other mix-ins are you using?
I'm using the cilantro and the spinach.
Okay,
But
so you can
first,
put those in
what
there
comes
too.
after the chorizo and the salsa? Then we mix it all together?
Yep,
Okay, thanks. You got it.
you're
okay?
welcome.
Okay, thanks. All right.
All right, I'm gonna give everyone 1 more minute just to get everything all together. Make sure you have your tortillas out. I'm gonna use the same pan that we just used to cook the eggs, so I don't have to do as many dishes. I don't know what size, my tortillas are this big. They're not super huge. But this was the biggest I found at the store, and they're gonna be end up this size after we cook them.
Mine's is this big.
Oh, cool. Yeah, they look the same size. Is anyone much bigger than this? Let's see, hold them up. Oh yeah, they all look the same size. Okay, cool. We're all working with the same thing. All right, how's everyone doing? Yeah, yours look the same size too, the Judds. We all good? Okay, looks like it. So first things first, we are going to just heat up our tortilla a little bit first. So I'm gonna put the pan back over medium low heat in between there. You really don't have to put anything in the pan like butter or oil. If you want to, so that it gets a little crispier, that's totally fine, but the tortilla will not stick at all. So if you don't want to use it, you don't have to. That's, I guess, up to your personal preference. I'm just gonna get my big spatula out.
Sophia, I finished mixing it. Okay, so now what's this?
You said spray the pan or no?
You can, it's up to your preference. It's not gonna stick if you don't spray it, but if you'd rather use it, that's totally fine. So right now we have our pan heating up over medium to medium low heat. And we're going to wait for that to heat up a little bit. If you want to add spray or butter, you can, but you don't have to. All right, I'm just gonna
Sophia,
add.
I finished mixing it. Okay, so now
Okay,
what's
great.
next?
Thank you, Enrique. Okay, so I'm just gonna take my tortilla.
You're welcome.
And I'm just gonna throw it in the pan. And we can just let it heat up a little bit before we add anything on there. I usually flip it every 30 seconds or so when I'm just heating it up. So then when I'm ready to flip, I'm just gonna take my spatula, dig it under there, and just flip it right there. I'm gonna flip it one more time. And you can tell it's much more pliable now when it's warmer. So it'll be much easier to fold over when we have to. For the people who have just joined, we are at the step where we are heating up our tortilla. We have our mix-ins all mixed together with our scrambled eggs, and we are getting ready to assemble the quesadilla in the pan. All right, is everyone's tortilla heated up a little bit? Does anyone need a little more time? I see some thumbs up. Does anyone, can we start adding cheese, or does anyone need some more time? If you do, that's totally fine. Okay, looks like everyone's ready. So we're gonna take a 1/4 cup, so a 1/4 cup of our shredded cheese, and we're gonna put that on our tortilla. You want to make sure that you're putting the cheese all on 1/2. So I'm gonna take the half that's farthest from me, and I'm gonna put the cheese all over there. So it's only one part of the tortilla that we're putting the anything on, okay? So you can see I have all my cheese just on 1/2. What was that?
I already mixed our cheese in together.
Okay, that's totally fine. So does everyone have their cheese on their tortilla, or if not, mixed into their eggs? Okay, so now what we're gonna do is we're gonna take our egg mixture and put it right on top of that cheese. I honestly look like I might have a little too much, so I'm not gonna add all of it. So I'm just gonna spoon my egg mixture on top of the cheese, just so that I'm covering everything. You don't want too much so that it will overflow, but I'm just gonna cover the cheese or the half of the tortilla with the egg mixture as well. And some stuff is gonna fall out. That's okay. That's normal. All right, just like that. So I probably have enough to make a whole nother quesadilla. So that's always another option. Okay. Once you have your egg mixture on your tortilla, give me a thumbs up. I see a few already. Everyone's doing a great job. All right, does anyone need any more time? Or are we doing okay? If you do, that's totally fine. Just let me know. Okay, looks like everyone's ready. So now what we're gonna do, we're gonna take our spatula again, and we're gonna put it underneath the half of the tortilla that doesn't have anything on it. So I'm gonna take that, my spatula, and I'm gonna fold my tortilla over just like this on top of the eggs and press it down. And you can see my tortilla even got crispy without having the butter or the spray on there. So we have it folded like this. We're just gonna let it cook for another minute or so, and then that's it. If it's not crispy and you want it to be crispier, you can always flip it again after, but mine looks like it got crispy enough, so I don't want it to burn. Some of my filling fell out, but that's okay. I'm gonna try and tuck it back in there. All right. And I think my stove is a little high, so I'm gonna take mine off just in case. So I'm gonna remove it from the heat. If yours needs more time, that's totally fine. I just don't want mine to burn. I think I put it a little too hot. And I'm just gonna take my spatula and put the quesadilla right on my cutting board. I brought my cutting board over to the pan so that we don't risk it falling on the floor. So once everyone has their quesadilla out of the oven, just give me another thumbs up. Caitlin, I see you. Tasha, I see you. Great job. Kristen, I see you. Awesome. Okay, I see you. Perfect. Does anyone need any more time, or is everyone's quesadilla off the heat? All right. So now our last step is just to cut it. You can either do 2 pieces or 4 pieces. I'm going to show 4 since that shows both options. So if you're doing 2, your first step would be just to cut it right down the middle in half. Just like that. So you can either leave it like that and eat it in 2 pieces, or if you want to eat it in 4, we're then going to cut both of these in half. You can either just go down like this so it's in strips, or if you want it to stay in triangles, you're going to take your 1/2. We're going to move this out of the way so it's easier to explain. So I have my triangle here. I'm going to have the tip of my knife go into that point of the triangle. So I'm making 2 more triangles down the middle. And I'm just going to cut just like that. So now I have my 2 triangles here, and I'm going to do the same thing with my other big triangle. So I'm turning the point away from me, and I'm going to put my point of the knife in the middle of the triangle, just like that. So now I have my 4 triangles. Let me grab a plate. So now I have my 4 triangles of my quesadilla, just like that. And you can serve this with, you could use sour cream on the side. You could use some more salsa on the side. You could even do some guacamole or mashed avocado, whatever you guys like. Does anyone have any questions about this recipe or about anything?
Look at my quesadillas.
Let me see. Oh, that looks delicious.
Yeah, right.
That
I
looks
use
so good. That's
chicken
gonna be
instead of
delicious.
chorizo and salsa. Right, I use chicken instead.
Oh, yeah.
Delicious, right? Yeah.
All right, so I'm gonna give everyone a few more minutes just to cut, and then if you have it on a plate or a cutting board, if you want to be in the picture, I'd love to take a picture of you guys all holding up your quesadillas. All right, so when everyone's ready, give me a thumbs up, and then I will count you down to holding them up. You just gotta wait for everyone to have them on here. Is everyone good? All right, if you have a quesadilla, hold it up for me, okay? All right, ready? 3, 2, 1, smile. Great. Thank you, guys. Does anyone have any last minute questions before we sign off for today? Okay, great. If like
Thank
I said,
you.
the
It
next,
was delicious.
oh, I'm so happy. Thank you guys for coming. Like I had said, the next class is June 11th. So that will be on our Eventbrite page. You can sign up there. There'll be more following in the summer, so just keep an eye out for emails, anything. If you guys have any questions at all, you can always email me. You can always email Kelly, whatever you guys need. Have a great rest of your Sunday. Thank you guys for coming. You know, I always love
Wait,
with you. Have a
wait,
great day, okay?
wait. Sophia, wait.
Yes, Enrique.
So actually, we still got 22 minutes left because I checked the email. It starts at 11 to 12. That's why it's gonna end at 12 o'clock.
Well,
So
we
we
end,
still
we
got-
cooked
so
pretty
we still
quickly, so
got-
we end once we're done cooking.
Listen, it's okay, but-
Sometimes it takes a little bit longer, so we usually go till 12, but you guys did such a great job today. We sped through it and we
I
ended
know,
early.
but it's because that is why that right now I checked the email and it starts at 11 and ends in 12.
That's
So
okay,
that is
but-
why it's gonna end at 12 o'clock in the afternoon.
No, we finished. It's over.
I think next class might take a little longer, so we'll probably go till 12 then, okay? Or am I gonna see you there?
Yes, I'll see you there, okay?
All
But
right.
look, is, okay,
And everyone enjoy your quesadillas, okay?
Thank you.
okay,
Bye.
yes, you got it, okay? All right, bye.